Hello everyone, it's Silvia. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to have a look at what's on my wish list. It is a video that I finally convinced myself to do. It's been requested a number of times and I have shown a couple of times what was on my wish list when it comes to mass market decks. The ones that I can find on Amazon, for example, or the ones that are available in a bookstore, you name it. But there is a secret wish list, I don't know how else to call it, which is based on indie decks, mostly indie decks, let's say. So what we're going to have a look at today is Kickstarter campaigns that I either backed or I'm saving because I know that we're launching soon and I possibly will want to back. Then we're going to have a look at what's on my favorites on Etsy. I was avoiding Etsy for over a year. 2024, I think I did not buy anything out of Etsy because the shipping costs were absolutely prohibitive. I do notice there's a lot of changes going on right now when it comes to shipping costs, especially when it comes to shipping costs from the US. They have become more affordable to Australia. I don't know what's going on. Sometimes it's a matter of contracts. Sometimes some postal companies in the US, they renew a contract with a postal company in Australia. They have some deals and that makes it cheaper to ship stuff over. Sometimes they void those contracts and that's when it goes up. I have no idea, but in any case, I feel like I should take advantage of that. And also there's something else to say on Etsy, and I knew that there was this option, but you can actually select when it goes to certain number of categories, you can actually select something that ships for free to your country. So sometimes I actually tick that box. I know that that excludes a lot of decks that I know I would love, but shipping costs, especially when they are more expensive than the deck itself, they become quite an important thing. And then we're also going to have a look at MPC, the MPC website. So MPC stands for MakePlayingCards.com. I know that, and I myself have said probably more than once, that this is not exactly the easiest website to find stuff in. I don't know whether it's the matter in which the website is laid out. I don't know whether it's because probably creators have to upload their products and they have to put some tags in order to be found. And possibly there's no specific guidelines on how to upload them. I don't know because I'm not a deck creator, so obviously I never tried to upload something on Make Playing Cards. But without much further ado, let's have a look and we dive right into Kickstarter. So this is what I'm going to show you. These are my saved projects. I believe that a couple at the time of filming, I still don't know when this video is gonna go out, but in any case, I'm filming on Thursday the 13th of March. So at the time of filming, these two projects are still active, so they still have a few days if you want to back them up. And let's have a look. We've got the Cracked Amethyst Tarot. I've been waiting for this deck by Jessica Bott, by the way, for so long because I really was bummed that I couldn't get my hands on the older version. And I know that Jessica's done a fantastic job, and she was explaining why she launched this project and why she changed a number of things on the cards. So if you have the original one, you will remember that there were large white borders, if I'm correct. And this deck is actually borderless, even though we do have a bit of a frame here, as you can see. But it tends to be, let's say, borderless. This deck is magnificent. I really, really loved it. And when I was reading the reasons why Jessica was going borderless now, she was explaining that the original version, the one with the borders, she has actually made it, she had made it There you go, that's an image here, so you can see the difference between the original full with the white borders and the current that is currently funded on Kickstarter, which is borderless. She was saying that when she realized, when she released the first one, she was at the very beginning of her journey as an artist, and because she's matured a lot and she's released a number of oracle decks, which I have, by the way. I have the Amethyst Oracle, I have the Phenomena Oracle, and I believe another one, and I really, really love her work. And she was saying, now that I've grown as an artist, I kind of have my preferences, and I also, and she says, I also believe that I can make something more represented and also more enjoyable on the cards when it comes to the representation, but also the aesthetics. So this is a tarot deck that I'm really, really looking forward to. I obviously backed it. You can see all of these, you know, the usual stuff, the usual statistics that you can find in all of these campaigns. I will feel that personally when I see a lot of transparency from a deck creator, that's when I start trusting them. I would trust Jessica anyway. She is well known in the tarot community as a tarot creator, and I would never think that there's going to be any problem. There are at least problems related to her not being organized in this campaign. I had several campaigns last year that really made me bang my head against the wall when it comes to a number of things. But then again, there were other campaigns that were absolutely fantastic, like Lisa Papez's campaign for the Unicorn's Journey Tarot. That was as smooth as a campaign could ever go. And on the other end of the spectrum, and I'm not gonna say, but I backed two decks, and one of them I immediately rehomed it the day it arrived because it had been so painful, really painful to get it, to finally get this deck. We had to insist, myself and a number of people, we had to insist at least 20 times, you know, for the creator to just finally send out the rewards. And another one was damaged, and there was a number of things that obviously in some cases is the creators not being organized, in some other cases they may have been hiring contractors that did not do a good job. In any case, this is obviously, I cannot foresee if there's going to be any problem with this deck. I hope not, but I backed it. I'm super happy about it, and I cannot wait. I really cannot wait. It looks absolutely amazing. I love the colors as well. So this is definitely one that I'm very, very, very happy about sharing with you. And then there's another one that I say, but I don't think I backed it yet, but it does at the time of filming. It has fully funded, and it still has about 30 days to go. And it's called the Discovering Beauty Tarot. And no, I haven't backed it yet. So by Sophia Litwak. And let me just see, because I really love, there you go. So I really love the cards, really love the colors, really, really find that the artwork resonates with me. It is definitely something that makes me, on the one hand, it makes me smile, but on the other hand, when you look at all of the cards, there is a depth to them that really, it gives me the opportunity to do a deeper reading. And I really love the, you know, for example, this is the Three of Air, so it's elemental, it's based on the suits with the alchemical elements, air, fire, etc. So this is the Three of Air, and I'm grateful that the creators showing this card, because that is the, in some cases, it is the deal breaker for me. And in this case, it's not the usual pursed heart, so I'm kind of happy that it is like that. It looks absolutely fabulous. The only thing that I have to say, and it's just me, it is very personal, and it's, you know, absolutely fine that you can go, no, it's not a problem for me, absolutely, totally fine. I do have a few problems in reading the font that has been used. It is a very artistic font. It feels like it's been handwritten with a paintbrush, perhaps. I don't know. I'm not an expert, as you well know by now. Art for me is something that I love and I appreciate, but unfortunately I'm not an expert on. and that could be a bit of a problem for me. It's fantastic to look at because it feels like it's integrated in the design, in the drawing of the cards, but in many cases it feels like I would probably need maybe a smaller title in a easy to read font, just to be able to just see what the cards is. And so there is also an overview of all of the cards, and I really like it. I like the fact that the minors are showing different colors, so they are recognizable. Really enjoying also looking at the process. I love it when a creator, especially on Kickstarter, shows the way in which they reach the final product, the number of layers that they had to go through in order to be satisfied that what they were showing to us, to the public, to the tarot readers and the tarot collectors, is indeed for them to build this bridge of knowledge and intention. Have they reached that milestone or not? Obviously, if they are on Kickstarter and they're launching a campaign, most likely that they have. But it is something that I appreciate a lot. So this one, I will probably back it. And it's, as I said, the campaign is still, we still have 30 days to go. So I'm probably going to back this deck. But I also wanted to show you a few Kickstarter campaigns that are classified as upcoming projects, in the sense that obviously they haven't launched yet. And you will notice that for all of them, it says launching soon. Don't trust that. It's not true. I mean, let me rephrase that. It may be true in some cases if you hear about them, obviously. If you follow, in many cases, I follow the creators on Instagram because that's where they will tell you the timeline, more or less. But on Kickstarter, it doesn't actually tell you the timeline, probably because it doesn't have the possibility to do so unless it's within 3 days, but I'm not entirely sure. Most reliable would be definitely a creator's website or a newsletter or an Instagram account and so on and so forth. I'm not going to go into the each and every one of these campaigns simply because we don't have time. We have a lot of decks to go through. So the Endless Tarot, of course, by Eric. I mean, of course, I'm going to back that campaign. I cannot wait. Eric is also the creator of the Inkwitch Tarot and the Endless Oracle and the Paper Lenormand, Paper Moon, I believe it's called. I don't have that one, but I'm looking into it. But there's a couple of decks that Eric has released in the last few years and are absolutely adorable. Then this one intrigues me, but I'm not entirely sure. You need to understand that what I'm doing, it doesn't cost me anything to just click saved. And I do that more often than not, in the sense that I don't have a screening process when I save something on my wish list, especially on Kickstarter, simply because I would rather have an excessive number of decks or campaigns saved rather than having to miss one or two because I simply forgot to when the launching date was, or I wasn't on Instagram for maybe a couple of weeks. I do prefer to, be on the cautious end of these kind of websites. And the same goes, and you will see that for the Etsy tarot decks. However, when it comes to Etsy, those are not campaigns, so you're actually able to go into the decks and look at the cards. You cannot do that on Kickstarter campaigns that are launching soon. So maybe when it will launch, I will not be interested anymore because by then I would have a more fine-tuned idea of what the cards look like or what the energy of the deck is, and I will realize that I finally don't really want it anymore. But in any case, this is the Robot Tarot by Jamie Case. It looks interesting. The Arcana Belly Ukrainian Tarot by Hiatus Games. Then I had the In Purpose Tarot deck. Unfortunately, it's been deleted. So I don't know whether it's still there as launching soon because it's a relaunch of a campaign. I don't know. The one card that the 4 cards that we can see in this banner are actually intriguing. So I don't know. I will keep it. I keep it there because I don't necessarily know whether they're going to bring it back up or not. Then absolutely this one, even though I have to say the card that we can see on the banner here is not necessarily interesting for me, but the concept is very touching, and so I definitely will want to check it out. It's called the Tarot of Grief, Hymns from the Labyrinth of Loss. So with my Starlight members last year, we done a tarot roadmap to processing grief and loss. And I'm always looking for books, obviously non-fiction books, but also fiction books that tackle the theme of grief and loss. And we have looked into custom spreads, we have looked into exercises, we have looked into guided meditation, journaling prompts, and also lists of recommendations on tarot decks and oracle decks to use in order to get the most out of the experience. So I'm always interested in these types of decks. And then there's a very quirky deck that I saved, LEI 51st Venice Art Biennale Tarot. The Biennale d'Arte di Venezia is always in my heart. I was born very close to Venice, so I consider Venice, between Venice and Padua, my place of origin, and I always love Venice. I always go to visit whenever I go back to Italy because I miss it. I miss it even now, and if I go more than a couple of years without seeing it, then I just start missing it even more. And when I'm there during the Biennale, I always make it a point to go. I used to work as a film critic, if you can believe it, and I used to have a critic's pass for the Biennale Venezia, the movies Biennale, and I used to go to all of these movies for free. It was the time of my life, and then I was getting to interview movie directors and stars. Not that I met so many, but at least a dozen. I was writing articles and then I was publishing them, but it was really awesome. And so when I heard that there was a tarot deck that was centered not about the movies Biennale but the art Biennale, I'm still interested in it, and I have no idea if I will like it or not. It looks really weird, but I will definitely have a look. And then we are having a look now at the Claro, Tarot from the Source of Light, which is by Una in Space, which is also the creator of Tarot Obscuro, which I backed last year. Then we've got the Mythic Archetypes Tarot Egypt by One Sick Puppy Publishing. This one makes me very curious. What I can see out of these images is very interesting to me, but as I said before, I reserve the right not to back them if they come and then I look at the cards and I don't find that they resonate with me. The Haunted Arcana horror themed tarot deck, of course I had to. Come on, I mean, you know me, I love horror genre, so of course I had to check this out. I don't know whether I will be backing it or not. The Dreaming Eye Tarot, that looks really interesting, by Lee Duncan. I had the possibility to see a couple of these cards on, I believe, the creator's Instagram account, and it looks really interesting. This one, absolutely the Shadow We Cast, a Star Seeker Tarot deck by Nikki. I cannot wait because I really love these cards that I'm seeing here. They look like cosmic and almost apocalyptic for me, so I'm really interested. And then of course there'll be the Autumn Season Tarot by Daniel Norman, so that's obviously something that I'm looking forward to. I really hope that is my personal taste, so please don't take it personally, it is just me. I really hope that it's more similar to her Walking Meditation Tarot rather than the Winter Season, because I would prefer there not to be a lot of people. Autumn Vibes for me is all about the landscape, but then again, this is just me. And then having a look at the last deck that I saved as a Kickstarter. Again, don't know when it's going to be launching, but this is a Grieving Tarot by Sarah Kathleen, and I follow her on Instagram as well. She's been launching a couple of other decks that look very similar, very recognizable when it comes to the art style. I have to say I don't have the other decks because of the color palette, not because of the dual kind of art style. I actually appreciate that. This one though, I actually really like the color palette. I don't know because I'm only seeing 4 cards. As I said, we'll see. But because it's the Grieving Tarot, it does have my heart. It obviously I will check it out, and I really love the color palette on this one. So these were the decks that I have saved as projects that are coming up on Kickstarter that I will possibly back. But now let's move on to the decks that I've actually saved in my wish list in Etsy. So as I was saying before, this year I might buy more decks from Etsy. I've already started. I bought a tarot deck which is called the Solar Logos Tarot by Carrie. By the way, I love the fact that I didn't contact her, Carrie. When she sent it to me, I didn't tell her that I have a YouTube channel. But I did the unboxing and I was talking about the deck, and after a couple of days I got a comment from her, and that really lightened up my day because I love it when creators see what happens to their decks, you know, because obviously they don't always see that. Obviously there could be comments, there could be feedbacks on Etsy, especially when you're given the possibility, because in my case, for example, Etsy has a really weird timeline. It thinks that this deck is still on its way to me, but I received it last week. But in any case, when I will be able to, I will post a review of the deck. But it's really nice that creators actually reach out to tarot tubers to let them know that they watched the video. So just between parentheses, I just wanted to say that it was a very nice surprise that she was watching my channel. I have a few here, and these ones, the concept is slightly different. I already know that I like them because I had a look at them, I did some research, I had a look at the cards. In many cases you will see there's also videos that show you the cards, and so these are likely to be decks that I actually like. And eventually, as I said, if the shipping costs still remain affordable, I would eventually buy them. And it's also because you will notice that there's repeated sales throughout the year. And so whenever there's a sale, I do get a reminder that a specific deck that is on my wish list is on sale. And so I will probably buy it when it's on sale. But these prices are not crazy. The prices you're seeing now are in Australian dollars, of course. So in US dollars, it will be even cheaper because of the currency exchange. But there's obviously the problem with the shipping cost. I keep on repeating myself, so I'm not going to say this anymore. But this year, Etsy is probably going to be a source of purchase for me. It was not for at least 18 months. So let's have a look. The Oracle card deck is spooky cute. Spooky cute. I don't know why it's so difficult to pronounce that for me. So Oracle card, this is a really... It is spooky, but it is, I believe that it's a good name, Spooky Cute, because it also is rather cute. I'm not going to go inside because otherwise it would open a number of windows. And again, also for time reasons. Then moving on, we've got Tarot des Eaux, which is the Bones Tarot. And I debated whether I wanted this on my wish list or not. I have seen it sold by someone on Facebook, and I wasn't entirely sure, but then I had possibility to look at these cards and a close-up of these cards, and I see that even though they are rather minimalist, not to the point of being peepish, they're not peepish, they are fully scenic and illustrated. However, they are minimalist, but they actually make sense. There's something to the cards, to the design, to the drawings that actually draws me in, and I appreciate that. The Paint and Tarot deck has been on my wish list forever. I like it. I know that not everyone does. There's a combination of brush strokes and colors that is not everyone's cup of tea. And it's grown on me because the first time I saw it, I was like, no, that deck is not for me. But I reserve the right to change my taste, and I think I have, and I think I'm ready to get this deck. And then this is very painful for me because you see it already. This is the Todd Alcott Sci-Fi Tarot. I would love to have all of his decks. Honestly, I would love the Pulp Tarot, the Horror Tarot, They are decks that really make me smile. I'm interested in them. I find them intriguing. I know that there's a lot of research that goes behind choosing the right images, and I know that he's a fantastic creator. However, you can see this already. The cost of the deck is $41.42, but the shipping is $73.32. I don't know why. I know that there's a couple of decks. I think the horror deck and the pulp deck are also available on Amazon US, but they don't ship to Australia. So I would have to have them shipped to my forwarding service in Portland, Oregon, and then ship them through to Australia, which I could do that. What I don't understand is, why is the shipping so expensive? Is it because they probably use DHL or UPS or one of those couriers? Maybe. But I'm happy to wait. So it's my idea to probably reach out to Todd and ask him, look, if I am happy to wait 4 weeks, can you just reduce the cost of shipping? Because honestly, $73 is even more than, in some cases, more than an indie tarot deck when it's on sale, and it's definitely more than a mass market deck, and that's just the shipping cost. So it makes it a very expensive deck. Then the Bygone Tarot, which looks really, really interesting. I don't know whether I'll be okay or not with the color of the background, but I like the theme. I like the idea behind it, because it looks almost as if it were one of those antique anatomy kind of drawings from the last century. So it is very intriguing. Then, of course, by Pixel Occult, we got the Red Hand Tarot deck. I love all of their decks, so really, I would buy all of them if I could. I do have 3 or 4. The Magical Nature Tarot has been on my wish list for a while, and the reason that I haven't bought it yet is because I've heard a lot of mixed feelings, mixed opinions about it from a lot of people that I trust. In specific, there is one tarot tuber that I really trust that has done a walkthrough of this deck, and they really had a very strong reaction to the cardstock, and that made me think, maybe I don't know if I will like it or not. I also know that there's other people that absolutely love the cardstock, and I know that it's a very specific cardstock, eco-friendly and all. I don't know. I don't know if I will like it or not. So it's still on my wish list, but I'm a bit of a scaredy cat when it comes to pulling the trigger. And then the special edition silver foil shadow something or other. Sorry about that. It just clipped the title. But you will see this deck. Now, I have to say, I don't necessarily know much about this deck. I read about it though, and this is supposed to be a special edition because it's on a thinner cardstock than the original deck created by the same creator. So it's the same deck, but on a thicker cardstock. And I have read reviews of people saying that they had a hard time shuffling this deck, hence why the creator reproduced this deck on a thinner cardstock. I don't know, because I don't have the original, so I wouldn't know, but the aesthetics of it are quite pleasing to me. Then one that is very weird, and I don't even know if I should have this on my wish list because it's a reproduction. However, I also know that this deck, I'm not entirely sure whether it's a sanctioned reproduction, let's say authorized reproduction or not. Sometimes on some kind of decks, also drawings, but also names like Mikey Mouse, for example, it's out of property rights already because it's been, I believe, 100 years. And so there will be more and more tarot decks based on Mikey Mouse this year and possibly next year, because they can reproduce the beloved character 100% alike without incurring in fines for property rights. So I don't know whether this deck is part of a group of decks or images that have been released and have no copyrights or not. I have no idea. But it's called the Rare Iona Tarot, and I know that this deck is huge, and it's only the major arcanas, but I absolutely love the art style. And I also know that the original one is super duper expensive, and it's obviously out of print, rare, hard to find, you name it, and possibly not even possible to procure. So I am keeping it here until I will verify and I'll be sure 100% whether it's an authorized reproduction or not. I don't know. Then the Lost Hollow, but this is the 4th edition by Pixel Cult, and it's revert back to the red borders, which I really love. And then we've got this one, which is just a recent discovery from, I would say, probably a couple of days ago. It's called the Moonlight Dream Tarot. It is so beautiful. It's very popular right now. As you can see, it's in more than 20 cards. I really love the images, and I just want to know a bit more. I just want to see what the reviews of someone who's already received the decks are. When it comes to the cardstock, when it comes to shipping, you know, all these kind of things. Then the Deeper Self Oracle, which I actually bought, and she's an Australian creator, so I also did an unboxing and also shown a number of pairings, because this deck is fantastic when you pair it up with the Bonfire Tarot by Gabby Angus West. And it's amazing because Gabby is also Australian, so I was really happy to be able to pair up 2 decks from 2 fellow Australians. Then there's a couple of tarot bags, but ever since then I only buy my tarot bags and my reading mats from the Tarot Bag Ladies, because they're absolutely wonderful and their products are fantastic. But the last one is the Mars Power Tarot, which has also been on my wish list for a while. I still don't know if I want to pull the trigger or not. I really do. I love it. Absolutely love the art style. I have the Star Power. I know that there's also the Moon Power. I don't necessarily like it because I seem to remember that it comes with white borders. I do prefer the Mass Power, but if you sum up the cost of the deck and the cost of shipping, to be honest, it's about $165, which is a bit too much for me. But these are the ones that are on my Etsy wish list. And now we've come to Make Plain cards, and a few of these I have just had a look at. But there's something to say about Make Plain cards. Sometimes you can see, if you click on the image, you can see more cards. Sometimes they don't give you that option, so you just see one card. And you have to do your research, which I have done. When I could find a walkthrough or a flip through in any social media platform, I was actually paying attention to the cards, but sometimes I just didn't find enough information. So this principle applies, the same principle that I use for the Kickstarter campaigns that I'm actually using, that I'm actually saving, even though I don't necessarily know whether I'm going to back them or not. Once I will know a lot better about the cards, the same principle applies here, in the sense that they look like I will like them, I will love them, I will enjoy them, I will want to buy them, but I cannot be sure 100%. In any case, let's have a look, because I know that many of you may have these decks, and you can also tell me whether you think that I will like them or not. So the Release Yourself Oracle, I just really love this frog. I know that there's a lot of people going ew, or there's a lot of people going each weird, not really for me, fair enough. But I really like, it's so whimsical, and I like kind of modern whimsical take on images these days. So Release Yourself Oracle. Then the Freak Show Circus Tarot. I believe that this one shows you the possibility to have a look at more cards, and I just really like it. It's again very whimsical, very freakish, but in a good way, and I like it when a tarot deck gives me the possibility to look at specific cards through a different pair of glasses and a different lens, because the perspective that you gain may make me a better tarot reader, and that's something that really makes a difference for me. Then I've got the Dark Emotional Oracle deck. This is really dark, and yes, we are going, in Australia, we're going towards autumn. We are already in autumn. From the 1st of March, we're going towards winter. We're going towards the darker days throughout the year. And so obviously that really is a trigger for me to seek out these kind of vibes. so be it. I like it. And the same goes for the Le Gothique tarot, which looks absolutely gorgeous. I am not entirely sure about the other cards. As I said, I could only have a look at probably half a dozen cards, but the ones that I've seen, they look really appealing to me. So this one is the Dreams of the Past Tarot, English Corrected Edition. This is one of those decks that are incredibly popular recently because it is based on those kind of, either it's curated art from the Renaissance period or it's inspired by art from the Renaissance period. Many of these have a Caravaggio style look. If you don't know, Caravaggio was an Italian painter that really used, it was a pioneer in the use of chiaroscuro, so the contrast between one object maybe in the center of the painting, almost as if it were illuminated by a ray of light, and everything else very, very dark around it. Think about a vase of fruits, and you have the fruits which are illuminated by the background is black, something like that. So it is very interesting to me. I love that kind of art style. It is probably my favorite when it comes to that particular era. And this one looks like I could like it. I don't necessarily understand why it's called corrected edition. I'm thinking maybe there have been a typo on the cards and this is the corrected edition. I have no idea why. If there is a corrected edition, then why not deleting the listing for the incorrect edition and just keeping this one? I have no idea. But in any case, I'm liking it. I'm liking the idea. The Stretch Tarot, also one that is quite famous, I believe, and I've seen it in many channels. I still haven't pulled the trigger for this one, but I will eventually. The Zombie Oracle, absolutely love it because it's very apocalyptic and I really love those kind of vibes. I will want to pair it up with the Omega Land Tarot, even though the art style is completely different, but it feels like it will go in hand. The Dreams of the Past Tarot. So this one though is the French edition. And so that makes me think that there may indeed have been a typo in the English edition. I don't mind the French edition. I have many French tarot decks and oracle decks. So it would probably be, I would probably go for the French edition if the French edition is the original one. Because I would prefer to, if it comes with a guidebook, which I don't think, but I would still prefer to have the original one rather than the translation, but it's fine either way. I don't believe that the Flow Tarot is available on Kickstarter anymore. Not Kickstarter, sorry, on Make Playing Cards anymore. It used to be. I saved it and I kept it there just in case it will become available again. When I go on Etsy and I look at the prices of shipping and GST and all that stuff, and also the shipping times, and the same deck is available on Make Playing Cards, I would definitely go with Make Playing Cards. It seems to be quicker for me when it comes to shipping to Australia. Make Playing Cards is based in Hong Kong, so obviously it takes much, I would say 1 week, possibly 10 days, rather than the usual 3, 4, 5 weeks. So if it is still available, eventually I would buy it. Then Victorian Visions Oracle, again, inspired by curated art or even curated art. Then there's one deck that I know that there's a lot of people that have been asking me where to find it. That's called the Illustrated Tarot. It is very quirky. It is similar to graphic novel style, but at the same time very, very deep. It reminds me of the Fantod deck. It reminds me of other decks that have the same kind of art style. And it also reminds me of a couple of video games. I don't know. Sometimes I make really weird associations between a tarot deck and a video game. But I don't know. It's got all the interesting, ticks all the boxes for me to find it an appealing deck, and I'm really, really interested. If you have this deck, let me know, because I only know one other person that has it and I haven't heard from her in a while about this deck, so I don't know whether that ended up resonating with this person or not. For me, the art style alone is not enough. Yes, it's a plus, of course, but it needs also, as I always say, to bring something new to the table. Then, of course, the Lacrimosa tarot, because it's been incredibly popular lately. There's a number of people that had it and they purchased it and they absolutely love it, and I love it as well because I have a look at Instagram and every time I see it I'm like, okay, how much is it? Can I afford it? Is it okay to buy it now? Do I have to wait? Maybe when I have more budget, when my budget for tarot decks on a monthly basis is not exhausted yet. I haven't pulled the trigger yet, but I can see myself doing that very soon. It's also because I believe it would pair up really nicely with the two oracle decks that I bought recently from Sandy Tattoo 2.0. So the Demarcatum and the Divinatio Codex. So I'm kind of thinking about it. Then there's a tarot deck that I actually saved twice. I believe that one could be probably just majors and the other one is majors and minors. So if I pull the trigger, I would definitely go for the full deck. And it's called the Moon Crab Art. And I really love that style. It reminds me of Magritte in a way, and I just really looking forward to see what this deck has to offer because it looks really interesting. And now we all know this deck is the Sacred Threads from Don Michel. Again, really interested in this deck as an oracle deck. I really like the art style, and also I think that Don Michel, being such a knowledgeable tarot collector, she would definitely know what keywords to associate with which image in order to, be significant, make a difference. Then I've got, of course, the Tarot of the Architectural Objects, which is by the same creator as the Tarot of Landscapes, which I have. So I'm definitely looking into this one. It's also because it's very affordable. The Beautiful Rebellion Tarot, the 4th edition. By the way, that reminded me that sometimes some of these decks go actually out of print, or rather out of stock, and they are sometimes removed and sometimes they come back. So I cannot assure you, whenever you're watching this video, if you're watching this video months from now, I cannot ensure that all of these decks are always on stock. For now they are, as of today, mid-March, but they might not be next week or next month, or you name it. And as you can see, there's two blank. These two have actually been removed because they're not in stock anymore. But one that is, I believe, still in stock is the Hidden Waters 2nd edition. And this one, believe it or not, is by Anatolian, and it does not look like any other work, but it is indeed. And I'm very interested to this one because it looks like it's a tarot deck based on the Rorschach test, and I find that very interesting because I am interested in psychology. I've been studying psychology, and so it's something that really piques my interest when it comes to that. So that was it for my wish list of all of the decks that are not mass market and that you can find either on Kickstarter or Etsy or Make Playing Cards. I would love to hear what you think about these decks, especially if you do already have some of these decks and you can tell me whether you think I would like them or not. Let me know. Also, keeping into account that I am sometimes a bit picky when it comes to the cardstock. But it's always nice to have somebody else's opinion because I'm always open to change my mind, but I'm always open also to put more decks into my wish list if you think that I would like them. For now, have a great day.